Hey, good morning everybody. Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space, and let's get right into it today. One take and uncut on this Saturday morning. So to kick things off, I actually want to talk about market makers really quick, just a brief overview. And this was actually shared by, again, real XRP boy. You can find him at boy_XRP in the XRP community here on Twitter. So I really like this, and kind of just talking about market makers themselves and how they make money, and why is this a good thing for XRP, and why do we need to foster liquidity in this ecosystem. Again, liquidity, the catch-all term. All right, we've gone over this numerous times, but we're just going to stay high level here, kind of go over these screenshots before we get into additional information and just a quick kind of weekly review, week and a recap overall in terms of banking regulations and bullish news for the entire cryptocurrency space. So right here, what are market makers and how do they make money? So the speed and simplicity with which stocks are bought and sold can be taken for granted, especially in the era of app investing. It takes just a few taps to place an order with your brokerage firm, and depending on the type of order, it can be executed within seconds. A behind-the-scenes force helping these transactions execute so quickly is known as the market maker. Now, market maker guys, I believe it says even in here, they're often, banks, sometimes brokerages, anything that kind of buys and sells and creates this liquidity. Now, the more volume there is, the more makers and takers per se that are offering to buy at various price points, the easier it is to sell your asset, buy your asset, essentially exchange your asset. Now, the closer they are in price, kind of the spread between the bid and the ask, the better it is and the cheaper that XRP will become. And again, their vision, they want XRP as liquid as a G10 currency, such as the Swiss franc. If this occurs and we have high volume, high value, it's game over. We are having an extremely high value asset. They go time and time again. Stable coins, a $1 XRP will not solve the problem. It will basically be a bridge asset. It will have to become the price of the value that it is transmitting on a daily basis. Right? The more liquid it becomes, the higher it can go. And then the higher value that it's exchanging, it will keep it there. Now, the higher price, the larger the market capitalization, again, a different type of metric for a digital asset, the less volatile it becomes. So they do want a higher price, which will create more of a stable value, whether that's, forever a $10, $50 XRP. Your guess is as good as mine. We've done the math. We've shown, founders and everybody with in terms of estimates. You can see Susan Athey estimating with just cross-border alone in some of Swift's market share anywhere from $6 to $30 per XRP. If you talk about derivatives, and we even get a chunk of the derivatives market, yes, those 3 and 4 digit figures are possible. Is it likely? That is up to you guys. We are early in the game. They say market maturity is not until 2025, even 2030. I'm just saying, I don't think it makes sense to sell something, or at least entirely, until we know how this is all, going to basically end and what's all said and done. Right? You know me, guys. I'm a long-term holder. Nothing wrong with de-risking and having an exit plan amongst various cryptocurrency assets. You do not know which one will survive or die entirely. But my mind is made that I'm going to hold several crypto assets for the long term. Long term in my mind from this point is at least 5 to 10 years. Now, does that mean that I'm not going to take profit or spend them as I go or take a collateralized debt position? No, absolutely not. I'm here to make money, period. And I think this is going to be one of the best opportunities along with precious metals as we are witnessing this transfer of wealth and, not only innovation, but adoption on a banking and financial institutional level for DLT. Okay, so right here, what do market makers do? Sorry about that rant, guys. Market makers, usually banks or brokerage companies, literally make a market for a stock by standing ready to buy or sell a given stock at every second of the trading day at the market price. This is good for traders because it allows them to execute trades whenever they want, more or less. When you place a market order to sell, say, 100 shares of Disney, a market maker will purchase the stock from you, even if it doesn't have a seller lined up. The opposite is true as well, because any shares the market maker cannot immediately sell will help fulfill sell orders that come in later. Now remember, with Interledger Protocol, essentially, they have, an entire graph of liquidity, and you can exchange or interchange any asset, anything that's tokenized. We've seen the progress that a lot of these groups are making, such as Securitize, even showing samples of, tokenizing assets on the Tezos blockchain. even Ethereum. We're seeing a lot of great things, even CDPs, collateralized debt positions on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Very, very exciting, but we are early. And oftentimes my greatest fear is that we still have to wait. And I know I'm going to get a dislike for that on this video. Too bad. Most of the, people looking on YouTube don't want to look for real information. They just want videos to basically, substantiate or at least make their beliefs feel better. But again, we have to challenge these and look at everything from a realistic perspective. And I know sometimes I get out there, but hey, I'm only human and I have my beliefs as well. So right here, and again, this is all real XRP boy. We've shown this chart before, and this is section 8, and this is a Ripple document in the past. XRP is a vehicle currency. XRP in Ripple, or XRP, in Ripple, is like gold in your hand. It's an asset without counterparty risk, plays a role as a bridge currency between exotic gateways. All right, USD to Euro, that's not really an exotic gateway. That's one of the most liquid, corridors in the world. But as we can see, this is an example. If XRP becomes as liquid as a G10 currency, we can interoperate with them. Again, don't even get me started on ACI worldwide. I'm going to actually do some additional videos showing you their multi-currency applications again. A lot of it has been sent to me by Damor Sahami. Really appreciate his help as well. And, his insight dated years ago, and he found a lot of things that people are just now talking about today. All right. Again, gold in your hand, digital gold. This is my belief. I believe that it will just be on an institutional level, wholesale, interbank settlements. If we get the derivatives market for XRP, awesome. It would not surprise me one bit if we understand that we have full-time engineers with even the Logos Network working on decentralized finance. And even, who was the woman at Ripple saying she wouldn't be surprised if she saw the derivatives market outpace the spot price by 2x by end of year of 2020. You understand that these people are some of the biggest executives ever with, 20, 30 years of experience and expertise in financial industries for not only central banks, but some of the biggest hedge funds, some of the, biggest names in the game. You can't get more bullish than that in understanding that XRP is one of those assets will solve a real problem in the payment sector and already is today. Almost 20% of all volume that MoneyGram is sending. XRP. We have 10% via the Bitso exchange and 10% of the USD Mexican corridor exchange in the world is going by XRP. But these are low value, so it's not really going to affect the price. And again, ODL arguably doesn't affect price, but what happens is it creates, you could say indirectly, it absolutely does, which is what I believe. It's going to create demand. And as soon as we have more legislation of these groups to be able to hold in custody the assets, traders are going to take notice. Market makers, what happens is we have a burn rate for XRP. I know Galgatron explains this in his blog as well, galgatron.net. And what happens is, of course, we have a minute amount of XRP being burned during every transaction. All right, maybe a drop of XRP. You can change the burn rate as well based on voting in the amendments, just like the reserve amount in an XRP wallet. And especially they can lower that amount when XRP price goes higher. So don't sweat it. That's another common fear, uncertainty, and doubt point of FUD. My mind is moving fast here. I'm trying to get this information out. What else do I want to emphasize? So this burn rate is not only to prevent DDoS attacks, but it actually barely actually makes these market makers statistically more likely to profit over time, but not too much, because you don't want too much speculation in this market. This is for institutions. We don't want too many, retail investors like you and I to make money off this. And again, David Schwartz, one of the original architects of the XRP ledger, discusses this. As we can see here, Joel Katz is his kind of alias that he goes by. This is well known. And again, you can find him right here, Joel Katz on Twitter, David Schwartz. And again, this is the CTO at Ripple, the company. So right here, listen to this. And Real XRP Boy posts this again from 2018. I'm just going to read the highlighted portion. Ideally, there will be so much competition that there will be some market makers who are so efficient and so optimized that they can survive on the barest margins, and nobody else will have a chance to even try to charge more. The lower the cost of liquidity, the greater the demand for that liquidity, aka XRP in this scenario. And we want lots of non-speculative volume. What does that mean? We want true wholesale transfers, utility on the network. Right? As we can see here, you want market makers to make as little as possible. The more market makers make, the more it's costing those who consume the liquidity. Again, there's going to be slippage costs, things of this nature, guys. This goes so deep. You have to understand, even Miguel Valles, formerly head of XRP markets. We have Brianne Madigan, head of, I'm blanking on the term. Not maybe institutional markets. I forgot the terminology or her official title. There's so many people that we read about Ripple on a daily basis. Guys, please just understand, This asset, even if it's the last one that will move via price, this is all a part of the plan. I wholeheartedly believe XRP will be one of the giants to come out of the space and thrive. But again, they want people out of XRP. They want you to chase tokens that are going up 50% on a week. And that's fine. You do what you do what you believe. You do what's best for you, and you can risk your own money, invest it how you see fit. I'm just telling my friends and those I care about to hold a portion for life. Ignore the price. We go to zero. We go to, $1,000 per XRP. I don't care. Just hold it long term as just in case. Not financial advice, guys. I'm only speaking to myself and, my friends and family in this case, okay? This is all entertainment purposes, but I just wanted to show you some thoughts, okay? Again, David Schwartz holds a lot of weight in the cryptocurrency community. All right, so right here, NASDAQ as well. We know they listed, and even Bank of America with their, the Merrill Lynch type of platform. They have XRP liquidity indices. And so this guy, Johan Toll, head of digital assets at NASDAQ, says this collaboration between NASDAQ and R3, again, huge behemoth we know of, is another important milestone in NASDAQ's continuous development of technologies that support the creation and growth of dynamic, trusted digital asset marketplaces. This is what we need. We need trust. We need regulation. We need groups that can securely store these assets via, as good custodial companies. And once this happens, the floodgates can open, just like State Street has predicted. All right? Big things. For those of you that have been around for a few years and, aren't just brand new, you know exactly what I'm referencing. All right, right here, XRP Crypto Wolf, Big Four accounting firm, EY, and this is Ernst & Young, we're just going to call them EY for simplicity's sake, is rapidly growing its services for crypto clients. Crypto assets are driving the largest part of its blockchain business since they have over 130 companies for whom they do audits that have material amounts of crypto assets. Again, crypto assets, they see them as assets. The space is maturing. They don't see them as cryptocurrencies. It's not just referred to as, bitcoins on the black market anymore. They're actually beginning to respect this space and understand that the utility that it can provide even outside of the financial sector. DLT is huge. Crypto assets is just one little fraction of it, but they're still going to have a place in this ecosystem as we merge towards or transition towards this internet of value. And it's so funny, and probably, a lot of people are wasting, even me, I question if I'm wasting my time spreading all of this knowledge because I don't think people are really listening. I really don't. I don't know. I think there's going to be very few people that actually take advantage of this situation the right way. But you know what? I'm going to keep pumping these videos out, and hopefully this will be kind of my way of providing a little value and encourage you guys to, do your own research and maybe even teach me a few things as well, because I'm learning from everybody on a daily basis, whether it's Twitter, YouTube, and then also just, doing my own research. So we can see here, again, here's the quote, we have more than 130 companies from Ernst & Young, does financial statement audits, material amounts. They have material amounts of digital assets and crypto assets on their books. Look at that. In fact, it's the single largest part of our blockchain business today. And over on the tax side, we're about to lose track of the total number of clients. It's starting to become quite a large number. Rapidly maturing digital ecosystem, gaining traction both on enterprise side and with financial institutions. Okay, points to stablecoins. It's so funny how people think that this is the solution. But again, bankers are naturally and just innately very conservative. And if they understood from a technical perspective that stablecoins aren't going to solve all the problems, how the backing even pegs, there's a lot of issues and nuances that they have to learn, but all in due time. All right. Two other core components of enterprise blockchain projects are custodians, again, keeping digital assets safe. Boom. And the complex systems that make up cross-border trade and even taxes. And there's so many things that go beyond that. All right, guys, I'm just saying this is the place to be. We got Ernst & Young, one of the biggest groups in the world, talking about this and literally saying material amounts of digital assets and crypto assets on their books. You can bet your you-know-what that I believe XRP and Ethereum are amongst those holdings. All right. Next, XRP Crypto Wolf, top venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz raised $515 million for its second crypto fund. FYI, Chris Dixon and what is her name? Katie Hahn. Again, Chris Dixon, guys, they kind of lead this fund, or if you can call it a crypto fund or hedge fund, they have different vernacular. But essentially, one of his first investments, along with Coinbase in 2013, was Ripple. These guys understand what is happening here. All right, and very strange, if you ask me, that right when Ripple was founded, they were already in discussions with the U.S. Treasury. They, cut all the BS and went straight to who they were targeting. Really, really interesting. All right. Just like the internet started. Do you think the internet started with a bunch of random people like Bitcoin did? Or do you think that they actually started with a few prestigious universities, kind of went to a governmental level? Some businesses got the attention and said, oh, wow, well, we have an office in New York and, another office over in, LA. Let's kind of sync them up so that we can communicate. And then lastly, it was rolled out in internet applications and the utility and just computers were rolled out to everyday people. And then we had Microsoft build their applications, Microsoft Office. We had Excel and Microsoft Word, things that were built in these applications. They did very well. The companies got raised substantial amounts of money, went public, sold the stock, and now everyday people make money off of that stock. Now, what's cool is blockchain is going to flip this model of investing on its head. Guess why? Because we own these speculative assets right now. And then what happens is we're betting that these businesses are building on top of them, building applications that are then used by everyone in the globe. And the more they're used in fueling the network or the specific use case for that crypto asset, the higher the value of your whole, the crypto asset that you're holding goes. Now, there's some crypto assets that are complete BS. They don't, they're not going to be appreciating, but there's others that actually are necessary. And you can, try not to swear here. The XRP ledger specifically will utilize XRP. The question is, to what degree? All right. So again, Andreessen Horowitz, we've already talked about this nonsense. I don't need to emphasize this anymore. I know every crypto channel's already talked about it. Kind of comparing it, kind of towards voice over IP. Went to the VoIP kind of migration. I'm talking about the funds. Again, it's all this guy, Chris Dixon, okay? Again, right here, 20 crypto companies over the previous 5 years, including Ripple and Coinbase back in 2013. Even, prior to establishing the fund devoted to crypto. All right. Next up. So right here, Crypto Penny CO or Co. So Wyoming is killing it. And again, we have more and more, not only countries, but even these local states welcoming and having much better regulations and laws that are actually welcoming innovation for crypto assets. So we're just going to breeze through this briefly. So Wyoming, world's first to welcome cryptocurrency banks. Again, goes hand in hand, or goes in line with what I'm saying. Custodial agents holding these assets. All right, so right here, talking about, and I've already read this whole article, but potential bank to manage the growing digital currency market would operate using blockchain tech. Blockchain is a ledger platform to administer cryptocurrency transactions. These records consist of pieces or blocks of information like date, time, dollar amount, or value amount, and participants in a transaction. It's been a decade since Bitcoin. We get it. Bunch of currencies coming to be, even central bank digital currencies. This is simply a matter of time. And yes, they're going to have to own some that are completely open source, is open sourced. So everyone can access them. It's on a level playing field. There's not that issue of trust. And again, that's one of the issues that cryptocurrencies or crypto assets were aiming to solve from the get-go. We can see their legislature, I can't even talk, has approved more than a dozen measures to prime the state's regulatory environment in hopes of recognizing the increasing legitimacy of digital currency like Bitcoin, Ethereum. They call it Ripple because back in the day it was interchangeable, aka XRP, Ripple's the company, Litecoin, and others. So good to see that. I know we just talked in the previous video about the Swiss bank, but again, it is happening day by day. Even right here. Going in line with Signum, that other group that lists XRP now, we have XRP Crypto Wolf sharing Swiss Capital Markets and Technology Association issued new common standards for cryptocurrency custody. Seems like the theme today, guys. Securing the assets. Remember, 2019, people were talking about connectivity via APIs. Now we're seeing custody. We're seeing standard custody. We're seeing PolySign. We're seeing Fidelity digital assets. These behemoths just completely setting up. Do you think we're in for a surprise by end of year? Do you think that this type of, this COVID, this global liquidity crisis, all that's happening has been a catalyst to some degree? I understand that it's bad, but you know what? Everything kind of can be a spark for something to ignite. So Switzerland published a common industry standard for the custody and management of digital assets. Again, kind of just differentiating them from traditional assets. Kind of boring. I understand you guys get the gist of this. Right here, here's a quote from, again, General Secretary, this gentleman, a partner at Swiss law firm and Lens, can't even pronounce that, right here. This will greatly contribute to the emergence of fully digital capital market infrastructures, including integrated custody and secondary trading venues. The benefits of the digitalization of the financial industry are such that the evolution towards decentralized infrastructure seems inevitable. Notice, decentralized. Again, far much better than just centralized. There's trade-offs for everything, but this is the issue of trust. This is the issue of systemic risk, and counterparty risk goes in line with trust. So many points. There's not one central point of failure. There's just so many more pros to cons now that eventually we have to swing like that in society. With all technology, with all social movements, etc., we are like a pendulum. We swing from idea to, the whole spectrum, whether it's centralized to decentralized. We're becoming more distributed by the day. All right. Validating everything we already know. All right, next up, this is just Ripple news as of April 29th. So TP Bank uses RippleNet, again, another customer talking about the benefits they've received, plugging into RippleNet's permissioned blockchain, okay? Remember, they connect and they have a vested interest in the XRP ledger and utilization. Every time they're integrated in the RippleNet, it's just a click of a button to use on-demand liquidity, or at least see the rate, provided they're plugged in, they have corridors live. And right now, in some areas, unfortunately, and this is true, Swift might actually be cheaper if the liquidity isn't there, all right? Now, other times, maybe Xcurrent or Swift GPI, those types of products are the best option. And then right now, what we're seeing is an emergence of ODL, on-demand liquidity, or XRP, becoming more and more viable by the day. And this is what's happening. We are seeing slow but steady. We know the volumes are tripling. If you think that XRP is not here to stay, I don't know what to tell you. We are seeing from a business perspective, not the price of the asset itself, but the fundamentals building. That is what I look at. I'm not listening to random people on YouTube. I'm not listening to random pictures and articles on the news or on Twitter. I'm looking at the facts, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Look at the numbers. Look at Ripple's quarterly report. Decide for yourselves. Look at their partners. Look at partners of partners. Look at adoption. Look at the regulation. See what is happening. It's right in front of your eyes. People are going to call me lucky. They're going to call you lucky if you invested in XRP, and that is not the case. I'm hoping and I'm assuming many of you have done your research. So right here, just to kind of breeze through this. So again, TP Bank, or we can say Tien Pong Commercial Joint Stock Bank right here, one of the leading digital transformation banks in the Vietnamese banking industry, partnered with RippleNet to successfully deploy blockchain tech for international money transfers between Japan and Vietnam. Instead of taking several hours to complete a transfer, as we can see, now they settle in minutes. Awesome. Providing their customers a simple, transparent, fast way to send global payments in and out of Vietnam. Okay? Same narrative as always, guys. We understand the benefits today. They process, billions of yen, equivalent to dozens of millions of USD per month. Okay, so, solid volume and value. We're getting there. Remittances are real-time transfers, 24/7. A revolutionary system compared to traditional banking services. Absolutely. Talking about also the connections to SBI Remit. We can see TP Bank, as we know, was connected to its first Ripple partner, SBI Remit. No surprise, SBI is just a behemoth. They own, they have many subsidiaries amongst them as well. Let's see what else. And I've already read this, just so you guys know. I always read it 2 or 3 times before I talk about it. Talking about, again, SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises, talking about high priority. We can see if you're interested. If you guys know any financial institutions and want to get some information, go ahead, check them out. But that's what I wanted to emphasize. Now, to finish things off, guys, again, I just talked to the CEO here at iTrustCapital. We have links in the description. If you have a 401k and you just got laid off, or you do have an IRA, or you want to start a Roth IRA, that is what I personally recommend. None of this is financial advice. I'm going to keep saying that as a preface, but I highly recommend you coming to this page. Links are in the description. Enter your email and just kind of schedule a call or go back and forth via email and figure out what's what. You can invest in gold. You can invest in crypto assets. Highly recommend it. We have XRP available here. Just talked to Blake and he's updating this. This is before they listed XRP. But again, look at this. You can see your portfolio. It's 1% for trading. As I always say, there's many competitors to this group and their fees are substantially higher. I cannot name any due to, just ethical reasons. But guys, these are going to be the most affordable groups. If you are looking to roll an existing 401k after being laid off, or you have an IRA and you simply want to roll some of it over, and it makes financial sense, especially during this time with all of the QE and quantitative easing. We do not know how high stocks are going and how sustainable it is, and it's just a simple hedge, whether it's, you invest in actual physical gold or you invest in crypto assets. Now, keep in mind, guys, sometimes this might not be the best fit for everybody. If you're, 20 years old and you want to do this and you want to start one from scratch, I'd probably rather, hold the XRP myself. But if you are 30 and you have things going, you already have money in a 401k, you have things in an IRA going, and you want to, roll an existing Roth IRA over, this is where something would make a lot more sense, especially for any viewers that are, 40, 50, and they're kind of closer to that retirement age. If you have a Roth IRA, guys, you will not have to pay the same amount of taxes. There are so many tax benefits to this, and what I recommend is you finding what is best for you. These people are so helpful. Talk to Blake, talk to any of the colleagues here, and they will absolutely help you out with this. And I'm not trying to push this on anybody, but you have to know what the best services are that are available. And again, the reason I'm sharing this is because I believe in it. That's literally what I do. My links are in the description, and the benefit is by kind of shilling this link for you guys, I do, get you guys 1 month free as well. But this is just something I believe in, and especially during an economic crisis such as this, I wanted to share it. All right. So I'm going to keep making these videos for you guys. Benefit is, I know YouTube, people complain about viewing several ads. I understand. But if there is absolutely not even, a few bucks per 1,000 views in making these videos, a lot less creators would exist. Some people have to be compensated. The benefit is that you guys get to watch all this information for free. And there's many content creators like myself that put this out there for you guys. And I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the people that like this video, share it around, and even, kind of help me learn myself and point me in the right direction and ask the good questions. We're all in this together, and that's what I want to emphasize. So with that, guys, I appreciate you as always, and I will see you in the next video.